Conquering Mom Scrap with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Mini Monday. Yay! We're doing Mini Mondays. Now, you're going to find the PDF for this pattern called Mom's Dream in our show notes or description box below, as well as the shout outs that we're going to be working on, or giving you guys today. We got two really fun shout outs. Stephanie from Everyday Sewist and Haley from Haley's Stitches. Both of those channel links are going to be in our show notes below with a bunch of other information. Oh my goodness. We've got two collaborations that we're working on this year. One is with Donna from Handmade by Yang with Donna. And she's assembled a team of YouTubers to teach basic skills. Now, basic skills, that back to basics is going to be a wonderful challenge for people that are beginners or that have been around for a long time and, like myself, have picked up some bad habits. We have to watch them too. So you need to make sure you're subscribed to all of them and hit that bell so you don't miss any of the content for this back to basics, because it's going to be a wonderful series. The other one is Quilter's Challenge. That's what we're calling it. And some of my favorite players are in there. I just love working with some of these people. We had so much fun doing the round robin last year, a couple of years back. Anyways, it's Future Cat from New Zealand, Kelly from Kelly's Quilts Plus, Sam Alberts, Talented Long Armor, Deb Sewing with Debbie, Michelle from Bits and Pieces, and another Kelly from Silly Moon Quilting. Now, and myself. What we're doing is we're taking a theme and we're challenging each other to what does that theme mean to you. And we're not only challenging each other, we're challenging our viewers as well. So I'm going to be so excited to see what's coming out of that challenge, that Quilter's Challenge, because it could be some absolutely stunning stuff that comes out of there. So the other thing you're going to find in the show notes, now I haven't announced what day this starts. Twinkle Twinkle is underway when we're going to be filming this, or very shortly underway. The next one after Twinkle Twinkle for the sew-alongs on Wednesday is called Happy Scrappy Overflow, and then after that will be the Disappearing Pinwheel. That's that purple and white quilt you guys see behind me every once in a while, and everybody comments on it. This one is called Barn Swallow, by the way, in case you're interested. This one is just, both of those sew-alongs are free, and we just dropped the clues out on Wednesdays on my YouTube channel. Also, the Zoom sew dates are in the description box. First Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. Now, if you want to help us out and do stuff, make comments, thumbs up, share, like, hype is new, hit the bell, and subscribe. Over half of you are not subscribed right now, and we would really love to be able to push our analytics a little bit further to reach more quilters so we can continue giving them fun free patterns each week. We also have a Facebook group that's warm and welcoming, a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord, and it's so much fun in there. We have all sorts of fun community chats. We do all sorts of fabric exchanges by country to keep postal costs down. But the admins have said, please agree to the rules and answer the questions, because otherwise they won't let you in. And we're trying to keep that room as safe as we can for the quilters that are there. So, also I speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups, and if you guys have, would like me to, set up a speaking engagement, my email address is under the About tab, or you can message me through the Facebook group. I'm faster at Facebook than I am at email. Also, if you guys find shoutouts, if you guys are finding quilting channels that are working hard, have a little bit different voice, and need some help because they're just starting or whatever, please send them my way. Send me their link and their name, and I'll be happy to add them to the shout out list. I rely on the thousands of eyes that are looking, because I no longer have time to look at YouTube very much and look for new channels or people who are doing some interesting comment. It's content. It's tough out there. So I think that's it. Yes, come on in and we'll get to the sewing of Mom's Dreams. Okay, we are at the sewing machine, and this is coming together. This is Mom's Dream. It comes together very quickly. It'll finish at be unfinished at 6.5 inches, finish 6. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start in the middle. Now, I have got a larger piece than needed, and I'm just going to lay it down in the middle here, and, oops. Okay, and we're just going to push this in like so. And this says A2, but I always use the center as A1s because it works better that way for me. Now, I've scored all of this with a tracing wheel. And that tracing wheel, I'm just going to show you real quick, this tracing wheel leaves a lovely little dotted line on the back. So that also helps you line up stuff, and I don't need that right now. And I've also wrote on the pattern which color goes where, right? Because, you know, it's just a little quicker to do it that way. You know, it's kind of that fun thing that we can do and just not have all that stress in our lives. So what I'm going to do is get this under the machine first. You shorten your stitch length. My machine I set at 25 to 30 stitches an inch. Shorten your stitch length. Sharp needle, very important for this project, because wow, you can make some beautiful things with this project. Okay, so I'm gonna run everything through. This has got more than anything, so I'm just going to run this and this through at the same time. And I'm only going to cover, let's see, 1/4 inch that way. Right like that. Oops, come on. Okay, I'm going to put a pin in this too, just to hold it in place until I can get it sewn. And I'll do the next one too. Get that one in place. Good sides together. Yay. Such a perfect. This one would just be so happy and just lovely as a scrappy quilt too, because it just lends itself with these little bricks, these odd little bricks, to be, you know, a happy scrappy little quilt as well. So let's see, let's get this one out from underneath and we'll put this one in. Oops. You hold it in place and it creates a little knot. And you do that within that 1/4 inch. Okay, so now that I'm going to push out of the way. I'm going to remove the pin and start on the other side just to have that piece put down in place. There we go. Tape is your friend, in case people wonder. If you ever make a mistake, I will show you what happens when I make a mistake. If you're making a mistake, the best thing you can do is stop what you're doing, pull out the stitches from the fabric side only, and tape the paper side. Because what that will do is prevent your pattern from being too far distorted. And that's a really quick handy tip. Handy tip to know. There we go. Oops, come on. There. What is this lying flat? Yes, it is all lying flat. There. I'm gonna pull these out. Yeah, you don't need many pins for these kinds of things. Okay, so next up is these squares. Now, I am not following the numbers. If you wish to follow the numbers, you can. That's entirely up to you. I've been doing foundation paper piecing for so long, I no longer need numbers. And sometimes when I'm drawing these patterns, I don't know, maybe EQ8 is smarter than me or whatever, but I have a heck of a time getting these things numbered. And it's very frustrating because I want to give you a really cute pattern, and then of course we can't do this because the numbers aren't there. Anyways, so get this out from underneath and get the other side of that. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do here with this. Okay, so now we're going to trim this and put the light gray on. Now, we had fun with this. We were playing with all the other fabrics that we've played with already, and we have oodles and oodles. Now, we want to take a smaller gray, which is fine. I'm just going to take that and push it out like that. Push it out like so. Okay. Now, if your pieces are a bit bigger than you need to have them, that's fine, because, you know, you just trim them off. These are scraps. They're crumbs. They're already cut into crumb size, or they were crumb size, you know, in some cases they might have been crumb size already. So they're kind of on your last legs in your sewing room. So I don't have a problem putting stuff like this into a pet bed. That is, you know, its form, its function, that's what it does. That's where it's going to be loved and lived in, so that's fine. Okay, there. Okay, now, get this under. There. Now, we'll get the other one. Okay. There we go. We've got good coverage there, so let's get the other one done. The other corner, top piece done. There. Nice. I always have to laugh when I'm doing these foundation paper piece things. They never look like anything until you trim them all, and then they look beautiful, and you're going, wow, why did I doubt the process? Why didn't I just go for the process? But yeah, you know, sometimes you can't see them. And you do end up with some very intricate blocks this way too. This one would be easy enough to do as a piece block. Never mind a foundation piece, but I would want something a little bigger. But you know, 6.5 is cute. Well, it's a cute size. You know, you get a lot of cuteness overload out of it, so it's all good. Okay, next up, we'll go back to that dark gray. Okay, there we go. And just line that up just like so. Make sure it's well lined up. There we go. Now, there. Come on. There we go. Now we're going to put on the side triangles. Now, when I pre-cut all these pieces, I was also keeping in mind where I need my straight of grain. Now, straight of grain sometimes is very, very important, gets overlooked, right? So my straight of grain on this triangle is right here, right? So these were cut, and I wanted to make sure I had good straight of grain coverage, because that will also help your blocks not be distorted, right? And that's what we want to avoid, is distortion of blocks. Okay, let's get the other gray side on. There. Okay. There we go. The last dark gray, the last deep gray. And you want to center it, make sure there's overhang on both sides, because you don't want to be short on one side and, you know, over too much on the other. Okay. And I might as well continue working on this block because it's almost there. Okay, and we'll just fold over the other side. There we go. There. So when I'm pre-cutting, when it comes to triangles, I'm 1/2 inch bigger, right? And when it comes to rectangles, I'm only a 1/4 inch bigger. Because I find that that's all you need, is to have that over. Okay, there we go. We'll get the pink on. There we go. There. See, and you do have a bit of trim room. Now, the reason why you do that little bit extra, if something shifts underneath when you're sewing, you can't manage it. If you just cut your pieces just big enough, you need them just a little bit bigger, just so that if they do shift, you're not going to have to pick it out because it's too short now. There we go. Now that block is done, or that part is done. Very nice. And here. Yeah. I don't have another leader ender in place. Oh well, that's okay. Because I'm going to need to go, this needs to go through a couple more times after this one is done. Oh well, that's life. Okay. So there we go. We want it like that. Just like that. There. There we go. And we got the other pink in line. There we go. There. Just line that baby up. Okay. Almost. Almost done. Almost. There we go. There we go. I think this one would be fun to piece as a piece project. Maybe I'll bring it back and do one piece just as a piece project instead of, you know, that would be fun to try. Okay, now, oops, yep, I'm good. Here we go. Oof, oofta. Okay, now all we've got is our corner triangles here. We've got a bunch of little fluffy stuff everywhere. There we go. Boy, I'm not making a mistake today, it looks like. I'll probably just jinx it now. I probably did just jinx it, right? That's what I did. I jinxed it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put that over to the side and pulling out this. There we go, just like that. Okay, and I'll get the last one on. I only needed one leader ender, that's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, and get this last bit on. Alright, and then we can start to trim. Okay, now in this pattern, there are, I'm going to show them to you here right away. I'm just going to get this pushed up out of the way. There are little rounded bits at the end of these corners. Now, you can see where they're kind of like, there's like two little lines that kind of cut off stuff. Well, those lines are going to help you line up when you're actually sewing this together. Right, so it's very important we don't lose that. I'm just going to get all this stuff out of the way. We don't lose that while we're doing this. So I'm going to get this out of the way. All right, there. Now, all three pieces are done. So we want to just make sure we've got two lines. One's a seam allowance line and the other is a stitch line. You line up your 1/4 inch on your ruler on the stitching line and you trim. And then you trim, get this out, and then you trim the other side of your triangle. Everything lines up beautifully, you trim. And again, the same thing. Now, what happens is when I'm trimming it like this, I have points. I don't have that rounded bit. So what I do is I take my scissor and my fabric and I just hold it there and I trim. Just to get that little, edge that's going to help me. You see there that edge went? It's now poof, it's gone. You've got that perfect edge now that you can match up. Let's do that again. So we lay this out this way and we get into, we put our, on the stitching line, not the seam allowance line, the stitching line, and we cut all the way across. Come on, there we go. Then we hit another line and we line it up. We take our time. There. And again. There we go. Alrighty. So now we hold our fabric in place and we just trim and trim. And we hold our fabric in place, trim and trim. There. So simple. Now we've got a good mark on our lines. You know, we have that nice edge where we can line up our stuff, right? Let's get that out of the way. Okay, let's get the last piece trimmed. Again, trim on your stitch line, not your seam allowance line. And here. Yeah, this one would be fun to do larger scale. You could do larger scale and you could have, you know, big pieces here for this edge. Now this one has none because it's the corner, because this block is built on a diagonal. And kind of a fun crisscross thing going on. Oops, here we go. Okay, here, next up. Now, I'll show you how it all goes together here in a sec. Just one more trim. One more trim. There. There we go. Okay. So now, you're going to put the block together like this, this, and this, right? So, what you're doing is you're flipping this over and you are taking some time to line up that there's two, this is going to happen, right? So you want to take your time and line this up a bit. Take it up, line it up. You could put pins in there if you want, but you have a point on this side, and this is the side you sew on. So that's, you don't want to cut off your points and you don't want to make blunt, funny ends. You want that seam allowance just to be perfect, and want that perfect point in the middle because you got perfect points already on two sides. You want a four-sided point. Okay, there's one seam. All right. Yeah, flipping it over, you make that point every time. And you just push this back out of the way and you get all the fluff and little thread bits off there, and you've got, like, everything matches up perfectly again, and you've got a perfect point. That's good. That's a good point. So now you want to do that again, and you're flipping it this way. Whoops. Make sure everything lines up good. Oh, no, everything shifted. Okay, there we go. There. All right. Now, there we go. Absolutely perfect matched corners. And so when I'm sewing, now when I'm ironing this, I'm going to iron this so that all of this falls away from that block, right? So we have a nice flat square block. And now we're going to do our stay stitching. And because we don't have a little bunch of little pieces in the seams, we're just going to go for it. We're just going to run around the edge so we minimize our distortion, and everything looks beautiful. And this block has a bunch of different names too. I just can't believe how many blocks there are and how many different names they all have. I think some of it was regional or historical. Anyways, here we go. I have to check more with the Barbara Backman. So this is what you do. You press out, right, from this long skinny one. You press out, you do your stay stitching. And let's examine those little points in that square in the square center. Look at that. Perfect points. Let's get to our ta-da moment. Okay, here's our block, Mom's Dream. It is just, I really like this kind of block. This, I think I'm going to bring this one in as a free pattern Friday, but in a much larger size, because this would be so much fun to piece. Never mind, you know, do the foundation paper piecing for a mini. You could do as scrappy as you wanted, you know, and it would still turn out just lovely. Because you are playing with darks, mediums, and lights as far for, you know, so you've got some contrast in this block. It's really important when you're doing these blocks, these scrappy blocks, that you have a dark, a medium, a light, or low volume, right? Very important. So this one was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys don't think this one is too challenging. So I hope your 1/4 inch seam is just right on the money and you win bobbin chicken, because good grief, I could win every once in a while. It'd be nice. So you guys stay well, take care until we see each other again. All right, bye. My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your lives, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.